judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that rejecteth me, and receiveth not my words, hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say, and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. For what shall a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and to lose his own soul? And what shall a man profit if he shall have everything and to lose his own soul? What shall a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and to lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul and to lose his own soul?
Welcome to the Sleeping Giant. I am the one who is. It is the 21st of May, 2022. And I've been taking some time trying to digest the last couple of weeks. I met Gary Peter Carlson, icheckyoursoul.com, icheckyoursoul.com, along with a very close friend of his, the legendary Alfred Lambermont Weber. And the COVID pandemic kind of set us all a little bit back. Thousands of businesses destroyed, a massive loss of life, starting at 1 million, a new kind of distance between people. In other words, our harmony was attacked, forced separation, and it's really a mess. But as always, life goes on. Life somehow goes on. The world keeps turning. So I had some time to spend with Gary telephonically, and he did me a soul reading. Everyone else has something to say about the world and what needs to happen, what should happen. Of course, I will definitely back those who I believe are on the right track. And those that I don't see as on the right track will just move along. What I would like to talk about in this session is not for everybody. It's not for half of the world, 3.5, 4 billion people. They don't want to hear this. But maybe in 50 years, maybe in 30 years, 3.5 billion people will love to listen to it and learn from it. The internet is the beginning of a global mind. It's become basically sentient. It has a consciousness. And what that means, it's following us. If you are viewing this video now, you are in a distant future from this moment that I'm speaking about the last 50 years of life. We are not alone in the universe. We are never alone. That just doesn't mean that you lost your wife or a child or something happened in your life to where you all of a sudden you lost friends and family and then you think you're alone. It's much more complicated than this. We're being told what to think. When an architect decides to build a house, he doesn't go down to the hardware store and buy equipment, cement, mixers, and tools. No. He first sits down at home and he creates a model. He creates a model of a house. It's the same way in Hollywood. Actors and directors don't take a camera and a crew and go somewhere filming. They sit down and they draw the characters, they write the story, they prepare to create it. In other words, they're using the first initial thoughts to create start with designing. So you're going to have to learn how to design your future. You design it. You take a piece of paper and a pad and a pen and you start writing ideas, notes, you make a list, you design so it's something that you want. Now, there's no limit to the sky, what you can do. For example, there are men who spent years, 5, 6, 7 years on a bank job, preparing for the bank job, that bank job would work perfectly, that they would have a getaway plan, a plan C, D, E, and F, and they would be successful. If they didn't plan it, then anything can go wrong. What is truth? What is truth? Let me give it to you straight. Truth is you sitting there in your own individual moment, listening to this video. Regardless of the subject, what you think, how you feel, whether you judge me or not, the truth is you're listening. More so, truth is simply observation. Truth is pure observation, period. There's no judgment. There is no analysis. You are simply an observer. You are observing what is. What is right now? You're looking at a computer, listening to my voice. That's what is for you in this moment. And whether you continue to listen or not, when you stop and you stand up, you go get something to drink, something to eat, you play a movie, you go ride your bike. Every moment is basically what is true. It's true. And when I learned to understand what truth really meant for me, then I knew in that moment that it was the essence of what my soul is. My soul is eternally alive, eternally aware. It's aware. Awareness is the attribute of the soul. It doesn't judge. The soul cannot judge. It observes. It is the observed. It recognizes peace, love, joy, happiness, rest, solitude, love. And when you don't have these qualities, it doesn't recognize you as a physical body. It recognizes itself in you when you are happy. You know, it's more easier to follow after spiritual things, to follow after, if I can say, God, when you are healthy, when you are feeling good. But when you are sad, depressed, abused, hurt, alone, it's very, very difficult to have God in your mind, because these things are not of God. And I use the word God again very lightly. Please forgive me, because this thing about God, the Creator, you see, it's a deception. We are procreators. Something created us to procreate, because they wanted to have this, that it runs. It runs. It's a computer program. It runs. And it functions very well. It's almost perfect the way it works. But it is far from the reality of all life. It is far from what we know or can call the truth. There are places in the universe that have absolutely no idea that we exist, just as we have no idea that many other races exist. Now, there's a lot of talk about the planet Mars. Don't worry about the planet Mars. There's life there. There's a history on Mars. And when they look at our star or a planet as a star, it looks like a little star. The planet, you know, we see Mars. What does it look like? From here, it looks like a star. So the people on Mars are being told that Earth is abandoned. There's no one living there. And they accept that. We are being told that there's no one lives on Mars. We accept that. Look at where we are now in history. In 2022, the beginning of the 21st century, we are being told that there's no life on Mars. But there's a movement that suggests, yes, there is. The Chinese just sent a rover there. They sent a rover to Mars. Lots of rovers are sent there. Most likely, these rovers are done in the desert on Earth to make it look like Mars. Is this how naive we are? Is there life on the moon? Obviously, yes. There's life on the moon, underground. They continue to hide the truth. Even in 2022, the whole world is built around misconceptions, deceptions, and lies. So, as you've heard me say before, you have to study the lies, and the bits of truth, and hope that the truth wins. You have also the option to just forget it. Don't worry about it. Go to work. Try to be a good citizen. Pay your taxes. Don't hurt anybody. Don't say anything that hurts someone. Unlike never before, now is the time to try to be a good human being. If you're not a good human being, don't worry about it. Just be true to who you are. Be true. If you're a bad person, continue to be a bad person until whatever the universe does with you to decide that you're worth saving. If you're not worth saving, you will be deleted. No, you will not burn in hell forever. I'm not saying this to encourage you to go out and do more evil, to do all evil you can, because it's so complicated that maybe even your future ancestors of children's children's children could pay for your actions or suffer from your actions. Nothing is lost, everything is recorded. Somebody has to pay. It's going to be balanced some kind of way. The universe is going to balance your actions. So it's about being good. It's about being a good person. The good people on this planet, we are here for these bad people. Why do I say bad people? You know, it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter where you live. It matter what language you speak. You are a human with a human soul. Are you a human with a reptilian soul? You could be a human disguised in a suit, holographic suit that looks human when actually you are an alien or a draconian. I mean, this is how complicated we have the situation. I mean, if we could actually see the reality, then we would all be nuts. We would just go totally insane. Just as if we all lived in brotherly love and the whole world lived in peace, in its own way, it would also be insane. Because anything that separates itself from the life force is totally crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you try to stop breathing? It's natural for you to breathe because you are that. That life force is you. Whatever that is, you don't know. We call it God. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with God. God is another advanced alien civilization that created supercomputer machines to make this thing work. This can be very depressing. I don't want to. It's not about negativity, people. It's not about negativity. It's not about depression. It's about hardening your skin. You want to harden your skin. You don't pick up a shovel. For the first time in your life, you pick up a shovel and you start digging. And then you dig for 6 hours. And then you look at your hands and you see that they're bloody. They have the calluses. There's no callus there. How do you build up calluses on your hands? Well, you start slowly. Maybe you wear gloves the first few weeks. Protect yourself. But ultimately, you build up calluses on your inner knuckles. Then you can grab that shovel without gloves and dig for hours and it doesn't affect you. Metatron is the highest archangel. In other words, he is directly on the other side of him is the undifferentiated source, the unknowable, this Not even Metatron knows what it is. Metatron sees that it's extremely divine, holy, perfect, immaculate, indestructible, whatever it is, he's 100% behind it. He honors it, he serves it, it's all he lives for. He just serves it. He does whatever it thinks it wants, whatever it is. I'm telling you, people, it's unknowable. We don't know what this is. Not even the highest alien races. They're all in the same search. They're all searching for this unknowable isness. Now, if you notice, I'm dropping a lot of interesting keywords for you to research. Unindifferented source, isness, what is, simply is, it's, so I can't lie to you and tell you that I know what it is. But after some 40, 45 years of research, I think it was after I researched for several years the Gnostic teachings, the Nag Hammadi library in English. When I reach this point, of course, you're always going to be ready for the next level. You can't get information that you're not ready for. Because truth has feelings too. Truth can be hurt. You don't want to hurt the feelings of truth. So truth hides itself. It doesn't want to be revealed because it doesn't have time for ignorant people or ungodly people or spiritless people who are only thinking about what they can get, how they can get it without costing to themselves or whatever. And in spite of who it and what it hurts people, other people it hurts, it doesn't matter. The mountains, the clouds, the sky, the sun. What else do you need? How could you in this moment complain about something more? Because that's who you are. Human, world, mother, earth, soul, sun, water. And you find this peace and you realize that you're in love, that you're happy. It's a love affair. And you become a vehicle for that great energy to enter into this existence when it desires. No matter how well or how strong you believe that you're right, you must also consider the fact that you could be wrong. I'm always pointing 3 fingers back at myself. Only you can be the judge. Only you can hear truth when you recognize it. When you recognize truth, then you hear it. Truth is true. In connection with COVID, after I left the last group I professionally sing with around 2015, nobody saw COVID coming except the 1%. They were laughing. They were laughing the whole time at the world's people. And they've just seen enough. They've just had enough. They just thought, we're going to murder some people now. We're going to sweep up and clean up. Yeah, they took out a lot of people. Broad daylight or frontal attack. Was it 1 million now? 1 million died from COVID? 1 million. What's 1 million people? What's 1 billion? 1 billion. I mean, for a lot of people, death was like at your front door. What they really did was they separated us even more. They only separated us more. We're now looked at each, when we look at each other now, we look at each other and we think, is he sick? Does he have leprosy? Will he infect me? Should I trust him? They've separated us in the name of 1 million people who died for this sickness. And they destroyed the confidence of people all over the world. We have a window of opportunity that's opening. It's been open since the late 80s. If you go back and you research the harmonic convergence, then you will realize that the post-Second War times, after the 50s and the 60s, was the last great days of a golden civilization that involved the whole planet and not just one island or one country or one civilization. We've had several golden civilizations on this planet. People to this day deny the fact that the Egyptians had running water and toilets. They had it all. And it was destroyed, taken from them. The Egyptians, the Africans had their own astrology, literature, poetry, science, art, astronomy. They had everything. Some of the most peaceful people on the planet. Second to the Chinese dynasties. And of course, you know, everything, it went south. Everything went south. It was destined to go south. It was never meant to really, for humans to discover themselves and to come together. It was never meant to be. It was designed to cause separation and friction. NASA. Not actually space accurate. NASA is a front. NASA was built by German scientists from Braun as the leader. They got green cards. The Germans knew what they were doing. They knew exactly that they had to start a war and that they would not basically win the war, but they would continue it under another flag. We all know the American country is definitely what we call the world police. That is basically the Fourth Reich. But the Germans were more clever than what they were given credit for, at least the scientists in the political arena. Every war and skirmish, every conflict that's happened on this planet has been for some spiritual reason. Alien artifacts, Ark of the Covenants, Looking Glass. Of course, they use these things to confuse people. So we give everyone the space they need to continue their experience. And we can only hope that the bike that they're riding, all the boats are tight and the tires are balanced, because we're going downhill very fast right now with so much new information. And if your bike's not tight, if you're depending on somebody else for your next move, then it's going to start picking up speed. If your bike's not in order, it's going to start falling apart and you're going to crash. It's that simple. So I'm going to keep this short, and then thank you for listening. I'm going to be doing the next video. I don't know when it's going to be, but it won't be in the next 3 days. It'll be whenever it comes, but I'm not doing a marathon. I'm taking this really slow, step for step. And I'd like to thank you for listening and hope that this turns out to be something positive and productive for you. Thank you very much. I am the Sleeping Giant.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the